Hello, hello. I hope you all are doing well. It is our Elevate Academy trainings and or talks with Ash Tuesday. Today is kind of like a split between a training and a talk. I think it's more talk, but you'll have to let me know what you think. All right, you guys, I'm going to pretty much jump right into this. So when you do pop on, I would love for you to say hello. I have a lot to cover in a fairly short time, but I'm so excited to share this information with you all. If you don't know who I am, if you're new, we've had a lot of new members to our group in the past couple of weeks. So I'm Ashley Samadani. This is my community who I love dearly. They're amazing women. And what I am all about personally as a coach and as a leader and as a mentor is helping female online entrepreneurs, many and most of which are mompreneurs, who also happen to have a network marketing business. I love working with my teammates and my clients to show them how to build a brand that is not dependent upon social media algorithms. So maybe you got into network marketing and you're like, oh, I love being an online entrepreneur, but you're really beholden to your company. You're beholden to social media algorithms, and you're like, well, how do I build my brand, what I'm all about? How do I get my message out there? How do I create my own stuff? So that's what I'm all about. And so I wanted to share with those of you who are on that path, those of you who want to build a brand and a business around yourself, the 5 key components that I really truly believe from experience and just from knowing this, these are the 5 things that I would recommend that anyone with an online business invest in. And some of them are financial investments and some of them are more like just time investments, because I don't know, if you were like me, when I first got into the online space now like 4.5 years ago, I was like, where do I start in building this brand? The first brand I built was a motherhood lifestyle blog, Tailor Made Mama. And I was like, what do I do? Okay, I'm just gonna I had a website. I built a website. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't build a website. Please, I didn't build a website. I started a blog and started with that, and then just was like, whoa, what do I do? There's just so many components. So I want to break it down for those of you who are wanting to build a brand, wanting to build a business. You're ready to kind of step it up, scale it up. These are the 5 things I recommend that you put in place in this order. And some of you may have some of these pieces, but they may not be in order. So I'm hoping this will help give you some guidance on what might be your logical next step and why. I'm not going to answer questions because I'm going to do with this video what I'm going to teach you to do with your videos. So I don't want to have a bunch of chit chat back and forth, but I see comments and I'm so excited to answer them afterwards. Okay, so with all of the things that you could possibly invest in, what do you invest in first? What do you do? Okay. Beep, 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 back it up. I'm gonna assume, so if you're gonna continue watching this video, I'm gonna assume that at this point, you know your personal brand. You know what you're all about. You know the 2 to 3 types of content that you share that provide value for a target audience. You know your message, you know who your target audience is, and you have an idea of where you want to go with your business. So you know what platform you mainly want to build on when it comes to social media. You've got all of that pretty much dialed in. If you don't, and I'm sorry, this looks like it's going, oh, am I still there? I hope so. So if you don't have that dialed in, you can watch this video, that's fine, but I would rather that you go to ashleysamadani.com, and right at the very top of my website, there's a place where you can enter your name and your email, and you can get literally a free, it's pretty much it's a week-long series of emails that is a free course to you to help you with determining what is your brand, okay? What is your brand? What kind of content are you sharing? Your target market, your message, and get you thinking about how you could monetize that brand outside of, but possibly including network marketing. Okay, so go to ashleysamadani.com. It's gonna be the very first thing you see. Snag that course, go through that. If you don't have your brand dialed in, you don't know what it is that you want to do, then this is not gonna make any sense for you. This is not the time for you to really be building this stuff out. But if you do know your brand, you do know your message, you're on a mission, and you're message driven, you want to get that out there, this is for you. With that long intro, number 1, the very first thing that I recommend for I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. And I know sometimes I shy away from this because I'm like, oh, well, like, not everyone in network marketing needs this. That is true. What I'm gonna tell you now is not for every single human in network marketing. Absolutely not. I'm talking to those of you who want to build a personal brand and a business around you, not your company, right? Around you, your stuff, your content. This is for you. The number one thing, the first thing that I think any savvy online entrepreneur needs is a website. I don't think you need to become a blogger. That's not what I'm saying. I think you need a website. Okay, so number one, websites. I'm gonna put that in the comments. And I'm gonna tell you why. Yes, even if your sole income online is through network marketing, I think you need a personal website. Okay, so I have two, but both times I've built brands, notice that I built it around a website, having a website. That is definitely for a reason. I don't know many successful online entrepreneurs who don't have a website, who have their own brand, right? Just doesn't really happen. And do you need a huge following to build a website? No, but I think it's one of the first investments you should make. And here's why. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons. I was writing down like 50 reasons, which I thought was a little excessive. So I'm gonna give you the top 3 reasons I think you need to invest in a website, okay? So and regardless of whether or not you want to be a blogger, that's not what I'm talking about. You don't have to use this website and blog away, blog your heart out like 3 times a week or even once a week, but you need a website because number one, so this is a place and a space that you own. I think this goes without saying, but I'm just gonna say it again, and I say this all the time, but we don't own these social media platforms, right? I can create all this content, all these lives in here. I can do lives on my personal page. I can go out and do all of this crazy content all over social media, but I don't own that. And what happens if, God forbid, your account gets shut down or the platform becomes obsolete? And then you're like, well, whoa, I really didn't own that. And unfortunately, we've even had some members in this group lately who've had horrible things happen with our social media where they lose everything, and it's a terrible situation to find yourself in. So it makes me even more passionate to share this and really step up and say, I think y'all need a website, okay? So you own this. You own this. No one's gonna be taking that away from you. It's a place where you can take that awesome content, so your key content that you would love every single new person who was your perfect target audience member, who you know you can serve, who comes into your network. What if they could see those key pieces of social media content that you've created forever? Like every new person gets to see that, okay? If you have a hub, a house where you can keep all of that content, not all of it, but the really good stuff, your really good stuff where you're like, this is my message, this is who I'm about, this is my story, this is, a super helpful piece of content. You can house that on a website that you own, okay? Where your content can be discovered by people outside of social media, okay? So Google, for example, Google, the search engine is responsible for like, I don't know, if you look at a circle graph of all the different search engines, it's like the full circle is filled up except for this teeny wedge, which has all the other search engines, including, Pinterest and things like that. Google's huge. How can you there's this whole wide world who can discover you and what you have to offer, but they're not gonna do that through social media. There's not like search engines crawling social media looking for what you have to offer and serving it up to your target audience. You gotta have a website to be discoverable beyond social media, and I want that so badly for you all, because I know we talked about, a couple weeks ago, we talked about, taking breaks from social media and things like that. The way that you can sustain growing your brand when you take a break from social media is by having automation and things in place and systems for where your brand and your content and you can be discovered in your sleep, right? This very video, you may be watching this on my website. I know that sounds weird to those of you watching live, but this live video is going to be taken out of Facebook, put onto YouTube, and then embedded within my blog, within a post that's expanding upon this topic, okay? That's exactly what I do with social media content. You don't want to spend all this time and not have it like housed somewhere where it can be seen. You guys put a lot of time and effort into creating amazing content, thought and heart goes into it. your blog is a place where that can be discovered, okay? So that was really 2 reasons in one. And then the third reason, which leads me into the second thing that you need to invest in if you're wanting to build and scale an online brand, is that a website is a place for you to come onto social media, deliver your content, take those eyeballs that you've worked so hard to get onto you, right? I mean, that is what marketing is about. It's getting eyeballs onto your stuff, and the right ones who you were delivering content directly for. You want to get them over to your website where you can convert those eyeballs on social media who are here today and possibly gone tomorrow into followers and leads on your email list. And you're going to do that over on your website. Now, can you do this also by using like landing pages? Sure, you can. But having a website that you own where you can drive people to, get them some more information, get them on your email list, and communicate with them directly, I can't even tell you how invaluable that is for growing your brand and business. So number 1 would be a website. Again, I'm not telling everyone to become bloggers. So I'm making some tweaks to my 12-week program. Some of you know about the Influence, Impact, and Income Academy. I'm making some tweaks to it because I want more of you to realize that it's not, you can go the route of blogging. If you, like me, love to communicate through written word, like you could just write, pages and pages, and that's how you best get a message across, then blogging might be for you. But if it's not for you, which it's not, I still think you need to build out the same framework. I still think you need a website. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with number 1. Number 2, if you didn't catch this, is an email marketing system. So you'll hear ESP, email service provider, EMS, email marketing system, interchangeable. Okay, so you need to have an email marketing system. Those of you who are in my membership community, the Intentional Influencer Society, right now I'm building out live an email marketing for social marketers course within that community. So those of you who are in there, it's August 2020 as I'm filming this. Those of you who are in there are getting that live. It will always and forever be in that membership, right? So we are working on that. But the reason, I know you've heard this before. I know you've heard, grow your list. It's really important to grow your list as you're building your business. I just want to reiterate why. I know we've talked about this before within Elevate Academy, within this Facebook group, but if you're seeing this elsewhere, your email list is so vital. I don't care what you end up doing. I don't care if you end up launching a podcast. I don't care if you are a YouTuber. I don't care if you want to create courses and programs or your own products. However you want to monetize your influence and the impact that you are seeking to make in the online space, you've got to have an email list, and you want to start building that even before you have something to sell. Better before you have something to market or sell. Okay? If you have an email list, so again, you're taking social media eyeballs or eyeballs from Pinterest or eyeballs from YouTube, from other places, getting them onto your email list, you can then communicate directly with your target audience. So you're not just like shouting out into social media and seeing what sticks and having to engage for like 45 minutes before you post so that maybe someone can see your post, and then engaging afterwards and spending countless hours on social media trying to trick up the algorithm, which you now have to do if you want to be competitive in building your brand online, right? So if you don't want to do that, if you're tired of this constant, endless hustle and grind that comes along with building solely on social media, you really, really should take the time to build out these things for yourself. Okay, you will never regret doing it, and it's all very, trust me, it's all very, even all of this stuff I'm going to talk about monthly, it's really not that much compared to the time freedom that you get back from having systems in place. So there's lots of, we've gone over in this group before, there's so many ways that you can utilize email marketing for communication, but in summary, think of it this way: rather than one-to-one communication, so DMing or like tagging people in all kinds of stuff all day long and all month long, you can mass communicate, mass follow up, mass share and repurpose the content you've created to make sure your people who raised their hands and said, yeah, I like this person, I like what she has to offer, I want more of it, are actually getting that, right? Not many people are sitting there scrolling through social media trying to look for your stuff, but if they know, like, and trust you and have signed up for your email list, they're gonna be much more likely to open your email and see that content that you've created for them, right? And email open rates are varying, but in general, the average is between 20 to 40% open rate on an email filled with your content. On social media, you are lucky if you get 10% engagement visibility from your Facebook friends list or your Instagram followers list, and less than 10%, more like 4 or 5%, actually are your target audience, unless you've been super, super diligent and like intentional about building a target audience on social media, which some of you may have. So email communication is amazing. You also own your list. You don't own the people on the list, but no one can take that away from you. So if you have all of your customers and all of your teammates and you have a network marketing business and it's all in the back office, if something happens with your company or something happens with your partnership with them, bye-bye, you don't own those. You don't have those anywhere else. I highly recommend if you do build a network marketing business as a complementary asset to your brand, that you get all of that contact information into an email service provider, into your email management system. Okay, there are lots of different kind of email management systems to get started with. So there's free ones. So MailChimp is a free one. I've never used MailChimp, but I know a lot of people who got started or still use MailChimp, and it's free. You can use Aweber. I use ActiveCampaign. I actually have two. I used to use one called MadMimi, and then I needed a little bit more like functionality with ActiveCampaign. There is ConvertKit. Gosh, there's just so many different email service providers. If you're wanting to create courses and like have more of an all-inclusive platform, you can use something like Kartra or Kajabi. Teachable is more like just courses, but there's so many options for you as far as what to choose, but you just want to choose one and start growing and nurturing your email list, okay? So to that end, if that is something that you want to do, so either, actually both of those things now that I think about it, number one or number two, within the membership community, so in the Intentional Influencer Society, again, Intentional Influencer has two meanings. So intentional influencer, so you being intentional with your own business, with your own influence, right? You intentionally building this out because you are message driven, because you know what is on your heart to share is worth it and important enough to invest your time and money and resources into building this out and actually getting it out there, okay? Now, if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine, but this Intentional Influencers, this is for you. So in the membership, currently there's a unit, phase 1 is all about building out a blog. So it's very simple. It's not a click by click live course, but there is a section on starting a website, simply, like a very simple website. It does not have to be fancy. None of my stuff is fancy. Go look at my websites. They work just fine, bring in lots of traffic, but they're not super fancy. Then we also have an email marketing course within the membership. So throwing that out there, that's ashleysamadani.com/membership. So you can check that out. And then let me see how much time I have. If I'm going to give more okay. So no, I figured this might happen. So I am going to send you, if you want the next 3, so if you want the next 3 components to building out your brand and what I would suggest investing in next, the next 3 components are actually in a blog post on ashleysamadani.com. I'm going to start directing you guys to there because I realized I'm like, I don't even tell my own group about posts that come out. So ashleysamadani.com, you can either do /5 things or just go to ashleysamadani.com and scroll to the blog post section. It's like the second thing you'll see, and it's the first post that will pop up. Check those out. There's tons of information. I hope it is super helpful to you. There's an opt-in if you want for an email marketing checklist. There's all kinds of resources that are free to you, including the content. So check that out. Let me know what you think. I will see you guys next Tuesday for our training, and keep your eyes out. I have a really important question about our next Tuesday training that I'm going to drop tomorrow. So kind of keep your eyes peeled for that. I hope you guys have a great night. And those of you who are in Intentional Influencer Society, tonight is our second of 2 monthly Q&A live coaching calls. So if you have questions on blogging, if you have questions on Instagram, if you have questions on social media stuff, if you have questions on email marketing, all of it, bring your questions tonight and we will go over all the things. I'm all yours for the next hour. All right, see you guys later and have a good night.